So recently I've been playing a lot of games in the rec. It's easily the best way to reach level 40, being that the game mode gives you the most rep. On screen you're watching a game that I had with my guys against another team in a rec session. Both my team and the opposing team was a 97 overall, so it was bound to be a good matchup, and the game was pretty fire. All of us were scoring, playing good defense, basically everything you can expect to see from us. Depending on when this video goes out, we'll either be at the last day of Season 3 or we'll be at the beginning of Season 4. But if anyone was wondering on my progress towards Legend, I managed to make it to level 40 with not a lot of time to spare. So we are now 3 out of 4 stars to hitting Legend. It's weird because for me, and this is just me speaking from my own experience, it seems to me that hitting level 40 gets harder each season. In Season 1, I reached level 40 with 10 days to spare. In Season 2, I reached level 40 with only 4 days to spare, and now, as I'm recording this video, there's only 3 days left until the season is over, and we're going to be moving on to Season 4. And what makes that interesting is that in the first season, I never really played any rec games at all. I was only playing games in the park mainly, so I can only chalk that up to the fact that maybe I'm just putting in less time each season. For Season 4, I do plan to only play rec games though, because I want to reach Legend as fast as possible. The thing about playing in the rec is that usually I play with a full team of 5. I like to be able to have a full squad when I'm playing this game mode. It's just a lot less frustrating when you have a team to communicate with that actually knows what they're doing. Most of the time that I play in the rec, I normally match up against full squads of 40 pros or high level goats, and when I play them, they just run a 2-3 zone defense most of the time. They're reading basically every passing lane all over the court, and then when they start to play aggressively and start spamming X to steal the ball, they go in a 3-man cherry pick. Games like that do get annoying, but it's good competition, so whenever we get into a game against a team like that, we normally just do the same exact thing. We go into a 2-3 zone and we just try to deny the team of scoring as much as possible. It's basically the most effective way to play defense in most cases, because if you try to run a man-to-man defense against a team like that, you're gonna get fried in 3 minutes and then boom, you're down by 30 points. Most of the time that happens to me is when I ever go into the rec by myself. I had this one game where I was playing by myself with randoms, and halfway into like the first or the second quarter, I'm not really sure which one it was, but after a few of my teammates missed a couple of shots or got a couple of turnovers, they would instantly quit the game. And when you're stuck with bots, sometimes it benefits you because there are some occasions where bots play pretty decent defense, and if one of the bots you have is a big man, you can force it to run a pick and roll for you. And it actually works a good majority of the time. But then there are other kind of bots that do absolutely nothing and just jack up terrible shots as soon as the ball touches their hands. It gets crazy. In that game, I ended up with like 42 points, but I was losing by like 35 because by the time the game was over, it was just me and 4 other bots against a full squad of 5 who were zoning and lane hawking. That was a game where I just had to accept the fact that I was going to get fried score-wise, but I was still playing great. I had an A+ teammate grade with like 42 points, 5 assists, only like 2 turnovers if I remember correctly. I have the screenshot of my DVR somewhere because I couldn't believe that something like that can happen to you, and it's just out of your control. And I think that it's unfair that if something like that happens to you, 2K will still punish you by dropping your performance meter drastically and rewarding you with very little rep. I think that 2K should change that. Imagine yourself going into a rec game alone, you putting on a dominating performance, you're doing everything that you should be doing on the court, right? But your teammates around you are selling you and then they end up leaving the game. 2K should be able to see that kind of situation and realize that it's out of your control, and instead of bringing your performance meter down so much, at least leave it to where it was before the game even started, especially if you had an A+ performance during the recap. 2K should do this, but the chances of that being a thing are very minimum because this franchise is mostly known for punishing people more than rewarding them. Some of the random teammates that I've gotten from playing this game absolutely amazes me on how bad they can be. It's like their IQ falls out of the window, but sometimes you have no choice but to take the losses like that if you're really trying to grind for 40. But overall, I think the rec is probably the best game mode in 2K despite having some toxic moments. Besides Ante-Up, it probably takes the most skill to play because 5v5 games with 10 users on the court really changes the dynamic of how you play 2K. A lot of things that you're able to get away with in the park will most likely not work in the rec. And it also shows you how effective you can really be on a team, because in my opinion, anyone can dominate with the ball by themselves in a 3v3 game. You've seen me do it in a few videos, that is if you're watching them of course. It really doesn't take all that much to score all 21 points in a park game in comparison to what happens in a rec. Yeah, you do run into teams where they only have one source of scoring, but I feel like if your team makes the right adjustments defensively, that one source of scoring can easily be stopped, and then they're the ones that have to make the offensive adjustments. You know what I mean? It takes user versus user to a whole different level. But yeah, in the future, I'm definitely leaning towards playing the rec a lot more than 3v3 games. Hopefully when season 4 is out, I'll be able to grind out at least the first 15 to 20 levels or so in the rec a lot faster than I normally do. Everyone that's been playing this game and grinding out their levels are concerned about what the legend prize might be, myself included. Because if we're being honest, aside from the go-kart in season 1, the level 40 prizes have been really mediocre. I wasn't a fan of the skeleton mascot prize, and the animated outfit that you get for season 3 isn't really anything special either. So because of that, we're just waiting to see what the legend prize is going to be, and hopefully it won't be disappointing. In terms of what I think the prize will be, I have 3 predictions. One of the predictions that I think the legend prize will be is a free copy of NBA 2K23. Now this seems like the most logical one, being that this was a prize before in an older 2K game. When you hit legend, you were able to get a free copy of the next game, which isn't all that bad to me. I wouldn't mind getting a free copy, you know what I mean? I think that's a valid reward. Now, the second prediction that I have is that when you hit legend, you'll probably get rewarded with 5 or 10 badge points per category. This one I think is kind of overpowered because in each season, right, when you hit level 39, you are rewarded with 1 badge point for a category of your choosing. I think that if they gave us multiple points for every category, that being defensive, playmaking, finishing, and shooting, that would be crazy. And with the way the badge system works, a lot of people will have a lot more gold and Hall of Fame badges than they ever did before. And my last prediction of the legend prize is that once you hit legend, every season that happens after 4, you get every single level reward. It might sound weird, but hear me out. Each season is 41 days if my math is correct, and we're not gonna see the next 2K game until September. So if my math is correct, we might get 9 seasons in total. If you're already a legend, you should be allowed to claim every level prize for the seasons after 4. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense, because there's a chance that the 40 prizes for seasons 5 and beyond might be better than the ones that we've gotten from 1 to 3 and maybe 4. I don't know what we're gonna get, but I think that these 3 predictions that I just listed are probably the most logical rewards that I can think of. If you have a better idea of what we might get as our legend prize, leave a comment down below on what you think it might be. With all of that being said, once I hit legend in this game, I'm not sure that when 2K23 comes out and it has this same type of leveling system that I'll grind this game like this again. It's actually really time consuming, and they're purposely doing that to maintain player retention. This is probably the first 2K game that I played where hitting legend is more obtainable than ever before, and because of that, it keeps you on the game. If the game kept the same old system where you start from a rookie 1 and just progress through the ranks, I probably wouldn't have been motivated to grind out this game as much as I have been this whole time. I don't know, we'll see. I could be lying and grind out 2K23 the same way that I've been grinding this game, maybe even more if it ends up being a better game. That's pretty much all it would have to boil down to, because I still think that 2K22 is a really decent 2K game. So that is going to wrap up this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed the gameplay of us frying this team in the rec. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording any voice audio between me and my guys during this game, but I didn't want this recording to go to waste because I felt like we were really going sick against this team, and I wanted to keep it as background gameplay for this commentary. In the future, I do plan to post more live games on 2K where we're playing in the rec and other kind of events in the game like Rival Day and things like that. But also let me know if you prefer this style of video making where I'm just doing a commentary over background gameplay and some mellow music. Since the year started, I've been in a kind of a blank space on what direction I should bring the channel to, and feedback will be good to let me know how I should maneuver and reassess. I might post a Twitter poll on that to see where it should go. Link is in the description box below if you'd like to follow me on my socials. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, drop a comment on your thoughts on basically anything I said today regarding 2K. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the sub button as well as turning on the post notifications so that you'll never miss a video again. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.